Your car just ticked over to 100,000 kilometers. It feels like a huge milestone, right? It's been with you through thick and thin. But along with that milestone comes a notification from your dealer or mechanic. It's time for the major service. It's a big one, and let's be honest, it's not cheap. So the question pops into your head, what if I just skip it? The car is running fine. After all, what's the worst that could happen? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what happens when you decide to roll the dice on your car's most important checkup. This isn't about scare tactics. It's about understanding the mechanics, the fluids, and the systems that are begging for attention at this critical point. Skipping this service isn't just a gamble, it's a countdown to breakdown. Let's dive in. First up, the heart of your vehicle, the engine. At 100,000 kilometers, your engine has performed millions of combustion cycles. A well-maintained engine purrs like a contented cat. It's clean, responsive, and efficient. But an engine that's missed its major service, that's a different story. It starts to sound rough, it hesitates, and you'll notice it's thirstier for fuel. Inside, a storm is brewing. One of the most critical components, checked and often replaced during this service, is the timing belt or timing chain. Think of it as the conductor of your engine's orchestra. It synchronizes the rotation of the crankshaft and the camshafts, ensuring that the engine's valves open and close at the proper times during each cylinder's intake and exhaust strokes. Now, imagine this belt, made of rubber and reinforced with high tensile fibers. After 100,000 kilometers of constant heat, friction, and stress, it becomes brittle, cracked, and stretched. If you skip the service and that belt snaps while you're driving, the result is immediate and catastrophic. The synchronization is lost. The pistons, moving up and down at incredible speeds, will slam into the valves that are now stuck open in their path. This collision causes massive internal damage: bent valves, damaged pistons, a ruined cylinder head, and sometimes even a completely destroyed engine block. The repair bill for this kind of failure can easily run into thousands of dollars, often costing more than the car is even worth. It turns a preventative maintenance cost of a few $100s into a potential four-figure disaster. This isn't a rare occurrence. It's a predictable outcome of neglecting a wearable part that has reached the end of its designed life. Next, let's talk about your car's lifeblood, its fluids. At the 100,000 kilometer mark, nearly every fluid in your car is past its prime and desperately needs to be replaced. Let's start with the most obvious one, engine oil. You know you're supposed to change it regularly, but the major service often involves a higher quality oil and a more thorough check. Fresh oil is a beautiful amber color, a viscous liquid that provides a protective film between moving parts, reducing friction and heat. But after thousands of kilometers, it breaks down. It becomes a dark, sludgy mess, contaminated with metal shavings, carbon deposits, and other byproducts of combustion. This sludge can't lubricate properly. It clogs up narrow oil passages, starving critical engine components of lubrication. The result is accelerated wear and tear, leading to overheating and, eventually, engine seizure. Then there's the transmission fluid. In an automatic transmission, this fluid is not just a lubricant, it's a hydraulic fluid that facilitates gear changes. New transmission fluid is typically a bright red color. Over time, it gets cooked by heat and contaminated with clutch material and metal particles, turning it a dark, burnt brown. When this happens, it loses its hydraulic properties. Your gear shifts become harsh and jerky, or the transmission might start slipping. Eventually, you're looking at a complete transmission failure, which is one of the most expensive repairs a car owner can face. And we can't forget the coolant, or antifreeze. Its job is to keep your engine from overheating in the summer and freezing in the winter. Fresh coolant also contains anti-corrosion inhibitors. As it ages, these inhibitors get used up. The coolant becomes acidic and starts to eat away at the inside of your engine, radiator, and hoses. This corrosive soup can cause leaks, blockages, and lead to your engine overheating. A simple coolant flush during the major service prevents all of this, ensuring your cooling system works flawlessly. Ignoring these fluids is like a human deciding to stop drinking water and just hoping for the best. The systems will inevitably fail. Now, let's move on to something that's all about your safety, the braking system. You press the brake pedal every single day and you trust that your car will stop. A car with a well-maintained braking system does just that. It stops smoothly, quietly, and effectively. The 100,000 kilometer service includes a detailed inspection of this entire system. But what if you skip it? Brake pads are designed to wear down. After so much use, they could be worn down to the metal backing plate. When that happens, you lose significant stopping power. You'll hear a horrifying grinding noise every time you brake, which is the sound of metal scraping against metal. This isn't just noisy, it's incredibly dangerous. The metal-on-metal contact quickly destroys your brake rotors, turning a simple brake pad replacement into a much more expensive brake pad and rotor job. Worse, worn-out pads and damaged rotors dramatically increase your stopping distance. In an emergency situation, those extra few feet can be the difference between a close call and a serious collision. The service also includes checking the brake fluid. Like other fluids, brake fluid absorbs moisture from the air over time. This water lowers the fluid's boiling point. Under heavy braking, like going down a long hill, the heat can cause the water in the fluid to boil, creating air bubbles in your brake lines. This leads to a soft, spongy pedal and a terrifying loss of braking power, a condition known as brake fade. Your foot goes to the floor, but the car barely slows down. For the sake of your own safety and the safety of others, the braking system is not a place to cut corners. Finally, let's look at what connects you to the road: your suspension and tires. A car with a healthy suspension system glides over bumps and imperfections in the road, keeping you comfortable and in control. Key components like shock absorbers and struts are designed to dampen impacts. After 100,000 kilometers, they are often worn out. When you skip the service and these parts are not inspected or replaced, your car will start to handle poorly. It might bounce uncontrollably after hitting a bump, feel unstable in corners, or nosedive heavily when you brake. This not only makes the ride uncomfortable but also compromises your control of the vehicle, especially in an emergency maneuver. And then there are the tires. The major service includes a tire rotation and a thorough inspection. New tires have deep treads that channel water away and provide excellent grip. Neglected tires, on the other hand, become bald and cracked. Bald tires have almost no grip on wet roads, making hydroplaning a near certainty. The rubber becomes brittle, and you might see cracks in the sidewalls. This is a ticking time bomb. A bald, cracked tire is incredibly susceptible to a blowout, a sudden and explosive loss of air. A blowout, especially at highway speeds, can cause you to lose control of your car instantly, leading to a devastating accident. Proper maintenance ensures your tires wear evenly and are replaced before they become a danger to you and everyone else on the road. So, we come to the inevitable conclusion. We've seen what happens to the engine, the fluids, the brakes, and the suspension when the 100,000 kilometer service is ignored. It's not a question of if things will fail, but when. The final scene is one we all dread: your car, broken down on the side of a remote road, steam billowing from under the hood. You're stranded, waiting for a tow truck, facing a massive repair bill and the overwhelming regret of a decision made months ago. That decision to save a few $100s has now cost you thousands in repairs, not to mention the stress, the inconvenience, and the potential safety risks you've endured. Remember, the 100,000 kilometer service isn't an upsell or an optional extra. It's a crucial preventative measure designed by the engineers who built your car. It's their roadmap to ensure your vehicle remains safe, reliable, and efficient well into its later life. Skipping it isn't saving money. It's just delaying a much, much larger expense. So, when your car hits that big milestone, don't ignore the call. Give your trusty companion the care it deserves. You'll be protecting your investment, your safety, and your peace of mind. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more car care tips. Drive safe and take care of your car, so it can take care of you.